What is up, YouTube? Team Dreadnaught here, giving you another deck profile. GBTO1 is out, so it's time to enter the Stride generation. Except the anime is terrible. We're here to bring you.
You didn't even watch it.
We're here to bring you a Kagero deck profile, but it's not what you think. It's actually going to be the Kagero Stride deck profile based around Dragonic Blademaster.
I hope so if they read the damn title.
Yeah. We have a cross deck. The profile will be coming to you guys probably soon. I've just been liking this deck a lot more than playing the cross. It just feels fun. You can win without your opponent feeling like you're a jerk. Despite it retiring better than cross cap. It just doesn't restand that. That's the difference. People will gladly have their field blown apart as long as you don't restand. But regardless. So yeah, our starter is going to be Wyvern Kid Ragla. This guy's cool. It's basically a Kimnara as a starter. When you have Generation Break 1, you can counterblast 1, put him in your soul to kill any grade 1 or lower rearguard your opponent controls. Really, really, really good. You can play the grade 3 Searcher in this deck if you want. But I'm really liking the way he plays out, and the ability to just have another retire ability on the field for cheap is really nice. And in fact, he's a 5k booster, which is really nice. Then we have 4 heal triggers. Now I run the gambit of 4 different heal triggers. You have Barbara, Therese, Agatha?
Why didn't you use Dragon Dojo?
Agathia, and Mother Orb Dragon, so all female heal triggers. I could run the other Dragon Monk, but Mother Orb.
You should do all Dragon Monks though.
She brings Dragon Balls though. She has orbs.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Dragon Balls. What's fulfillment? Then we have critical triggers. We have 4 OG. Embodiment of Spear Tar. 2 Magma Shot Draco Kid.
Best crit ever.
2 Dragon Knight Rashid. The one that looks like it was drawn by a 4-year-old. I just think
4-year control better than I can.
Yeah. It's all critical triggers though, it doesn't matter. And then for draw triggers we got 3 Gatling Claw Dragon and then 1 Seal Dragon Arpegue, whatever.
Artifact.
Whatever the hell you want to pronounce his name. So running a 4-4-8. I was running a 4-6-6 for a while, which was pretty good, but I felt like I lacked endgame ability, so I'm just switching it up, testing it out. And then for grade 1s, we have 4 Protect Orb Dragon, the new Perfect Guards. They cannot Perfect Guard. You cannot use these to protect your rear guards, which does matter if you have to play cross decks, because when they swing at your rear guard and you try to Perfect Guard them, they tell you no. So be aware of that. They have their benefits, but there is obviously a downside considering Cross is one of the bigger decks in the format right now. It's the same that they have for all of them. They can't guard their rear guards, but whenever you use it, if you have a copy of itself in the graveyard, you can unflip one of your damages. And note, the way the cost and the effect is, if you play this and then discard another one, you will be able to unflip one. So, it's good times. 4 Lavaflow Dragon. I'm trying to get these signed, so.
If anybody hasn't signed, donate.
Yeah. This is your typical. This is the new version of the grade 1 kind of grade 3 tutors, where you can drop a grade 3 and search one. The break ride searchers.
Yeah, it's just a better version.
But now they're the break stride kind of searchers. Instead of needing to discard a grade 3 immediately, you just have to show that you have a grade 3 in hand, and then you discard whatever you want to search what you want. This one obviously searches for Dragonic Blademaster, and then its other effect is in your hand, it counts as a grade 3 to discard if you want to stride. So, very good. It's a 7k booster. If you're playing a straight stride deck, there's no reason not to play 4 of whatever clan you're playing. And then we have 3 Dragon Monk. I'm not even going to pronounce it. It's like Gokuryu or something.
Gyokuryu. I don't know.
Dragon Knight Boss Man.
I don't speak Moon Rune.
Dragon Knight G. This guy's cool. He's Generation Break 1. Whenever one of your opponent's rear guards is retired due to one of your effects, he gets plus 5k for the turn. In this deck, you're retiring a lot, either because of Blademaster's Stride ability, or because of Route Flare, or because of Twilight Arrow. And the fact that he just gains 5 for no reason like that is kind of absurd. With Blademaster into a Root Flare, for just Counterblast 1, you can retire 3 units. And here's a grade 1 that's a 21 by himself. That's like really, really, really good for a grade 1 to put that much pressure on your opponent. I did have Calamity Towers in place for this, but the draw 1 isn't helping me as much because if it's behind a Twilight Arrow, it's not doing me a lot of justice, because even though I am retiring, it's still only a 5k. In the end, I'm paying Counterblast 1 to ensure that it's 10k instead of 5. But overall, this guy's a really good card. I'm really starting to like him. And then 2 Energy Flame, Athonic.
Athonic, yeah.
We'll say it like that, sure. Another guy that's neat, whenever one of your opponent's rear guards is retired due to one of your effects, you can put him into Soul and an unflip too. I don't play many of these guys because almost everything you have in this deck is just a Counterblast 1 for the most part. Either Counterblast 1 or free. And there's not going to be many times where you're going to need an extra 2 Counterblasts real fast. Not only that, the Perfect Shields. The Perfect Shields can unflip also, and then you have heal triggers also. So you don't need too many of these, and you don't want to like get rid of 7k boosters by putting them in the Soul to do things. 4 Twilight Arrow Dragons. This is the Kagro version of whenever it's boosted, Counterblast 1, do Clan Mechanic. His is whenever. Yeah, his is Generation Break 1. Whenever he attacks the Vanguard and is boosted, you can Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Really good, really powerful, really solid. It's amazing just how well they can improve on Berserk Dragon.
They made him proactive, not reactive.
Right. Because of this card, Kagro is now proactive instead of reactive, making them much more potent in the Stride format, which is why I'm liking this deck a lot more. You now are allowed to just play the game rather than wait for your opponent to do stuff and then react to it, and then it might be too late at that point. Really good, really powerful. Always play 4 if you're playing Kagro or Stride. Then we have the Stride 12k attackers, where GB1, whenever it attacks the Vanguard, it gains +3. Really good. Obviously, it has a little bit of a downside now that they're common, in that they don't gain the +3 when they attack rear guards, but it's whatever. Then we have 2 Wyvern Strike Doha, the 10k attacker for the new versions of Kagro. I like his art. I like his art now better than the Holem. It's funny. I love the Holem so much, but they made one that has a cooler art. Also, it looks like Blademaster without the armor and arms. And then to round it off, the grade 2s, we have 2 Dragonite Tanzan, who is essentially the grade 2 version of the grade 1 guy earlier. The name I can't pronounce. He's obviously an AK, same skill, GB1. Whenever one of your opponent's rear guards is retired due to one of your effects, he gains +5 for the turn. So both of them in a column are really good, but preferably you'd want 1 in each column, just so both your columns are really strong. Then moving on to grade 3s, we have 4 double Paris Dragon. Hopefully in set 3, Kagro gets another Stride Breaker, even though I like this guy a lot. But it'd be nice to have another Stride Breaker just to play. His first effect is GB1. Whenever he's played on... GB1 at any time, you can Counterblast 2 to retire any rear guard your opponent controls. Which is pretty fair. With the Athonic guy, it's basically... You can just put him into Soul to retire 1. His other effect is... whenever he's placed on Vanguard, you can Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1 to retire any of your opponent's grade 1 or lower rear guards, which is also, again, pretty solid. If you don't have Blademaster right away, this can kill starters so they don't cause you problems before they stride. This is a good, solid, strong card. There's no reason not to play 3 right now. There's really no other Kagro cards that you really want to play in this. I mean, you could play the original Dragonic Overlord if you want, but... And then rounding out the deck, until we get to the extra deck, we have 4 Dragonic Blademasters. This guy is really strong. His first ability is Generation Break 2. Whenever he attacks the Vanguard, he gains +5 and a crit. Obviously, that's really good for endgame turn. And his Stride Break ability, that whenever you stride over him, you can Counterblast 1, kill any rearguard on your opponent's field. Just a nice, simple, clean ability that, because of the guys who gain +5 and everything like that, it can lead to having good field position, and it's just good that you always have the ability to retire something every turn instead of having to need something to hit or something like that. Like I said, it made Kagero more proactive. They can just play the game now rather than having to wait for their opponent to do something. It's just really strong, really powerful. Pick these guys up. They're like $1, if even. He's just a really good, solid card. It makes Kagero
probably gonna get more support as well as he's his boss.
It makes Kagero just really powerful, really solid. And then going on to the Generation deck, I play 4 Divine Dragon Knight Balmond. He's just a simple rare version of
when it hits, do clan mechanic.
Normal strides. When it hits, do clan mechanic for free. Usually, I think 1 or 2 of them is a cost.
Not normally, no. Usually, because it requires him to hit, it doesn't cost counterblast.
Yeah, he's just whenever it hits for free, do clan mechanic, which is choose any of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. Again, really good, solid option for your first stride, because usually your opponent at that point either doesn't have enough cards in their hand to guard it, because it is going to be a 26 or a 31 of the starter, and you already retired something with Blademaster. So for 1 counterblast, if it hits, you triple drive, you do some damage, and you can retire 2 units before your rearguards attack. That with Twilight Arrow, like I said, it just allows Kagero constant flow of retirement without having to be reactive, but it doesn't feel icky and gross. And then the last card is really long name dragon. Flame Emperor Dragon King Root Flare Dragon. His ability is basically Pain Laser, as long as you have Generation Break 2, essentially. As long as you have 2 face-up stride units. So basically, you would ride Malmon first, and then you would stride Malmon first, then you would stride Root Flare, and then use Root Flare's ability, and proceed to do that. Again, it's another thing like this guy. With Blademaster and him, it's retire 3.
You also have to know when he's not a card that you can move in. He's a card you have to use.
Right. This card is more if your opponent decides to flood their field for some reason. It allows you to stride, against Royal Paladin and Nova Grappler. It allows you to retire their big thing in the front row with Blademaster, and then wipe a powerful column. Not always. And wipe a powerful column with Root Flare's ability. Again, nice, strong, solid, retiring abilities that don't feel icky. Because they don't deal damage, or everything, or your Vanguard gains +1 or +crit, or all these other weird things. And you only get 2 shots at him, so you gotta make them count. And that's pretty much my Kagero deck. It's playing really well, it's testing really well, and I'm liking it a whole lot. So remember to comment, like, subscribe, check out our Twitter and Facebook for any new information, and we'll see you guys next time.